was an intense week. It was, I think there was one person that was on everybody's mouth and everybody's feed, and that was
Yeah.
CM Punk. The
Yeah.
whole entire
And
week.
there's no doubt. And I know people who listen to this show on a daily basis, they're like, all right, CM Punk, you guys talked about it all week. But the unique thing about our show and what we do is that every day we have a different host combination. So you have
Hmm.
Bully, you have Mark, you have Mickie James, you have Tommy Dreamer. And we've heard from all of them about CM Punk. Thunder, your day is Friday. And we haven't heard your thoughts on the return of CM Punk. Obviously, you worked in AEW with CM Punk. Um,
Yes.
so, what are your thoughts about the return of CM Punk, and what were you thinking on Saturday? Because you had a unique perspective, obviously, because you were doing commentary for Collision on Saturday, and then the moment for you, like you're finishing up work, you just finished Collision, a great episode of Collision this past Saturday, by the way.
Yes, it
And
was.
then, you saw, like you said, all over your feed, the return of CM Punk. What were your thoughts? What went through your head and your heart?
I can tell you, like, people were blowing up my phone. They were like, "Hey, Mel, did you see what happened? Did you see what happened?" I'm like, "No, I was working." So, I was, I really have to confess, like, it was like a touch of heartbreak and happiness, because I love Phil as a person, and I want him to be successful, and I wish like things would have gone completely different and he was still working with us, right? But despite that mantra that we all say, never say never, like deep
Yeah.
down, I'm like, I'm really happy that he is fulfilling his dream, because he loves professional wrestling. He has a very strong passion for professional wrestling. Um, and I tell you, like, working with Phil has always been, in my perspective, like, I want to talk about me. Uh, it's been positive, enriching, and there's a really funny reaction that I had on my vlog that you guys can watch tomorrow at 3 p.m. And it it was just really funny. You guys have to watch it, but I really feel, David and everybody, that we all deserve second chances. I firmly believe in second chances, and I feel like this is a way that everybody needs to recognize that Phil has had many chances, but I think this is his last chance, right? In professional wrestling. And I feel like that's what a lot of people feel, that this is happening. And I think a lot of people thought that this was never going to happen. And it was a huge surprise. And in regards to his promo, I know a lot of fans, like, I had my perspective is even more interesting, because I had the whole entire week to listen to everybody and to see everybody's reaction to it. And I saw that so many people were absolutely pissed and very disappointed, because they were expecting that Phil was going to come out and be like, "Let's burn this place down." And he didn't. He's on the contrary. It's like that he was going to critique everything, that he was going to be pissed. Instead, he was just like, I think he was very sincere about him feeling the way that he felt, that he felt that he has a second opportunity, that he's at his new home, right?
Yeah.
And and that he's trying to heal, and he's really trying to move on from some of the regrettable incidents that happened prior to this. And I think that people need to understand this, and they need to, like, understand that he's gonna move on from this, that he's not gonna talk about it. He didn't talk about it, and that's why I feel like a lot of people felt that this was very PG, or like, this is not Phil. But I think that his return really marks a pivotal shift in his career. That is a transformation of someone that has changed, that wanted to change and want something different for himself, and he's embracing this new company that he's working with. That was indeed, it's a new company from where he left 10 years ago. It's nothing like it was before. So I think for him, it is a lot easier to come with this attitude,
Hmm.
and come with new terms to finish this part of his career. And like I said, the promo, it really states that it's a fresh start for him. And it was just incredibly like how people like took it. Like it was like the chance during the whole show, and now seeing where he's gonna move on, who is he gonna face, and then and I'm really anticipating that there's another persona that will research in this new journey of CM Punk. And in my eyes, like he's currently focusing on growth. He's focusing on moving on. He's currently focusing on what is in front of him, and he wants to move from the past. And that's what the promo was. It's like, I am not going to talk about the past. I'm going to talk about the present, and I'm going to talk about the future. And it's important that people understand that this is an opportunity that he took. And maybe a lot of people were like, oh man, he should have talked about it. He should have done this. He should have done that. He's not. He did what he did, and he stands for it. And yeah, a lot of people were like, man, what did he say? Like, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. I think that's a little CM Punk that it's in there in the core that is not going to change. It's that Punk that he has, that the little like one sentence that makes him different, and that makes it's going to make everybody talk about him.
And are you talking about that last sentence where he said, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make money?
Yes, that's the one. Because everybody was like, yeah, the promo was very positive. He talks about now him working in WWE, that he's home, but he didn't have to say, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make money. Because in the promo, he's saying that a lot of people were happy about him being back. There was a lot of hugs, there was a lot of kisses, all that kind of stuff. But he said that part. CM Punk is CM Punk. He's always going to find that one sentence that is the punchline. It's like the one that, tell me when I'm telling lies. Tell me when I'm telling lies. Right? Or they call me the $1 bill. $1 Phil, and it's the same thing. It's like those are the things that people remember him from. And I think in the core, he's not going to change that part at all.
A lot from what you just said, Thunder. One is you talked about it, and it's so true. And not a lot of people have mentioned this, but you just did, is that, 10 years have gone by, and we talk about how much CM Punk may have changed or may not have changed. But the WWE is, like you said, a completely different company now than it was. This isn't the Vince McMahon WWE. This is the Triple H WWE. And we've talked about a lot of this before, a lot of the bad blood that a lot of people had, going back to Bob Backlund, Bruno Sammartino, who kind of mended those fences, who kind of built that bridge back up. It was Triple H. Triple H is the one who brought Bruno Sammartino back after decades of Bruno hating on Vince McMahon and the WWE. Triple H has kind of been that peacemaker. And now you have a Triple H kind of led WWE at this point. I mean it in every way. He's kind of becoming the face of the WWE, and he's definitely the man behind creative. And over the last year and a half, I think we've seen such a great growth in the WWE. And I think by growth, you see maturity. And I think that's a big reason why CM Punk is back. You also mentioned the promo. And a lot of people, probably a lot of jaded fans, were hoping to hear CM Punk bag on AEW or not be PG, drop some curse words and stuff, which does not happen in the world of the WWE. Why would he? I think you're right, Thunder. I don't think this is angry CM Punk. I think this is happy CM Punk. Yeah, you're going to get that jab in there. You're going to get that passive aggressiveness. You're always going to get that from CM Punk, but I think he's in a good place right now. I think he's happy. And why wouldn't he be happy? He's back home and he's getting a second chance with the WWE.
David, just imagine, like, the last 2 years have been completely tumultuous in his career. Actually, no. In more than that. It's like from his exit from WWE, how he exited, everything that I went through, that promo, that pipe bomb, everything else, then, returning, all the stuff that happened in the last 2 years, everything that is being said, actions, like everything. Just imagine. I think at one point people come into a realization that it's either, you change for peace or you continue to face the same demons from before. And I feel on this particular promo and this particular thing, even like in his aura, I feel it, that he's looking for peace. He's looking for something different. And you either like it or you don't. Anyways, it's CM Punk. You either like him or you don't. But guess what? You are going to talk about him for a whole damn week. The whole damn week. He said something like super polarizing and controversial. You're talking about CM Punk. He said something, quote unquote, mild. You didn't like it because he wasn't like aggressive enough for you. He wasn't that CM Punk. You're going to talk about him no matter what. But guess what? You stay watching Raw and the ratings went up 29%, but you still aren't going to complain about it. Right? So I'm just like, he's looking to change. He's looking to move forward. And that's what he did on the promo. Otherwise, he would have done what he's done, like religiously, which he didn't.
Yeah, and listen, make no mistake, he's polarizing. I've said it on this show a few times this week. The most polarizing wrestler in the last 25 years. I mean, when you look back at these last couple of decades, CM Punk is going to be one of those names that you're going to speak about for generations. Why? I'll use the example of this show, Thunder. This week on Busted Open, and Busted Open is approaching 15 years on the air. This week is the biggest week in the history of our show. Like when you look at the ratings of this show, the downloads for our podcast, the growth in subscriptions on our YouTube page, like the amount of phone calls we've gotten this week, without a doubt, I can say, and this is, The Undertaker's, WrestleMania streak ending, all the WrestleMania broadcasts we've done, and All In and All Out and all this type of stuff. There's been a lot of great moments and weeks in the last 15 years in pro wrestling. For this show, and we haven't even, I'm not even counting today. I'm talking Monday through Thursday. So obviously I don't know, what our ratings are going to be for today and the numbers we're going to get today. This week so far, Thunder, the biggest week in the history of this show. Why is that? It's because of CM Punk.
People want to hear this.
They want to hear about him. They wonder about that. They saw a moment on Saturday that a lot of fans never thought they would ever see. Like he even said in his promo, hell has frozen over. This guy's a star, and unfortunately for, AEW, they're going to have to scratch their head wondering if they made the right decision by letting him walk out the door, because, as we approach WrestleMania, which is just 4 months away, I'm sure he's going to be in a main event match at WrestleMania. Like, he is a star, Thunder. So whether you love him or you hate him, you're going to tune in to see him.
Absolutely. And David, I feel, and this is on like all the promos that I've seen him do from, the years that he's been wrestling. He's always very sincere about the things that he says. Very. And I think on this one, he was sincere. And again, some people didn't like that, but it is what it is. And which brings me to a point that I wanted to make too, with the fans and how some of the information has been relayed to the fans this week. This week was very, very solid on reporting things that happened after he came out on Saturday, during his promo, and then after the promo. Fans, listeners, you have to be careful on what you read on the internet, because this would really can deter how you feel during the day, especially if it creates happiness or creates hate in regards to what you're reading. Remember, a lot of these reports is just to get click and for you to think and start like criticizing certain things. Don't let this really deter of how you feel, because it could be very detrimental to your mental health. And I can tell you, I saw it. There was one point, David, that I almost put on Twitter. This is the reason why I don't have Twitter anymore. This is the reason why I have a team taking care of my Twitter and my social medias. It was so negative. It was so negative that it made me really sad. It made me really sad because when I started wrestling 12 years ago, when I was a fan myself, I didn't have to deal with this stuff. And now as a fan, I have to deal with it. I'm just like, I just want to enjoy wrestling. I just want to see what, like, if Seth Rollins gonna keep running his mouth because he's been running his mouth all this time, and how is this gonna pan out with CM Punk, right? Or if like John Cena is gonna wrestle CM Punk, if or this, it's just like, yeah, it's cool that people want to like open the curtain and see what's behind, but it's not cool at the same time. Just let it play out. Let it play out. And it's just like, don't read so into this stuff, guys. Like dirt sheet comments, stuff like that. Misquoted things from people that are reputable in professional wrestling. Don't read those. If you really want to know what they say, click on the podcast. Go and listen to us on what we have to say. The full disclosure, what we have to say or what we have said. Because there's been so many times and we're being misquoted on things that we have said. And I'm going to say it again. And I've said it multiple times during the time that I worked here in Busted Open. If you call yourself a reporter of a wrestling reporter, do your job correctly. Quote the whole entire quote before you put it on an article, because you're messing with people's psychics, with the fan psychics, and also with the people that are working in different companies. Have some respect for that. Do your job correctly.
I agree. And, we've talked about this a lot. And, I think our fan base, the nation's intelligent enough. I don't think they let like a tweet or a report sway them in one way or another. I think they're intelligent enough to watch and see how things play out. The other thing is, and I've kind of become savvy at this on social media, because I don't want to give up social media, Thunder, because I think there is a lot of positive. It's a good way to connect the fans. There are a lot of great fans. This is a small minority or a very loud but small minority of fans that are ultra negative. I've kind of learned how to kind of navigate through it. I don't feel, listen, I have no hesitation to block people anymore. If I see people just making negative comments just for making negative comments, I block them. Then I don't have to see them anymore. But I've also become, and this is not just in the world of wrestling, but in everything, in any form of entertainment or just life, they're going to use the clickbait. They're going to use that one sentence that they know is going to grab you. But if I see something that interests me or piques my interest, I will make sure that I click the article and read the full article, or listen to the podcast or read the full thing. Like I'm kind of at the point now where I'm not going to let just one line or one headline sway me or take it for truth. Like I make sure I click on it, make sure I read the full article to get the full quotes. And because it's easy to fall into that trap. It's just an extra little step, and it's just being intelligent enough. And I know the people who are listening to this show right now are intelligent enough that I would hope that they know how to navigate through this social media, because there's a lot to navigate. It's still relatively new. I don't have a good grasp on it, but I'm really learning. And I have, Thunder, I'm at the point now in my life, I don't need the bullshit. I have no problem muting and blocking people at this point in my life. I really don't.
I mean, that's the reason why I probably looked at a lot of dogs and cats memes, and that's what is on my timeline. But it's when weeks like this that something like monumental happened, and the whole entire week there's like news on this, news on that, news on the news on the news on the news. I'm just like, yo, like, come on. I mean, I already knew a lot of the stuff, and I actually know the truth on some of the stuff, right? But I'm just like, I'm reading, I'm like, oh my God, who like says all this ridiculousness? Like, who opens their mouth just to like, hurt somebody else's job or try to hurt somebody else's reputation? I'm just what is
Thunder, I heard it
on?
earlier this week. Wow. on Tuesday, Mark and Bully were hosting on Tuesday, and they had a caller, and the caller said that CM Punk's a cancer. And Mark and Bully jumped all over the guy saying, how do you know? Like, have you shared a locker room? Have you worked? And he was like, well, I read it somewhere. That's not good enough. Come on. You got to know the source of where things are coming from. To go on a national radio show and say someone's a cancer when you never even met this person, like you're just going on something that you read on the internet, that's just being irresponsible. There's one other thing I want to say, Thunder, because I I'm a fan of it, and I don't want it to be erased. A lot of people are saying, well, now that CM Punk is back in the world of the WWE, what he did the last 2 years is going to be forgotten and it's going to be erased. I hope not, because I know it didn't end well, but I really did love CM Punk's run in AEW. The feud that Punk had with MJF was phenomenal. The dog collar match that they had at Revolution in Orlando was absolutely phenomenal. Like, the return in Chicago on Rampage was amazing. Like, that, first of all, that dog collar match with MJF is one of my favorite matches. Like, I've gone back and I've watched it. Like, those things can't be forgotten. So I know the world of pro wrestling moves very, very fast. And now that CM Punk is back home, or is in a new home and is now back with the WWE, I don't want that run in AEW to be forgotten, because CM Punk gave us some great moments in AEW. And I know, for one, those are moments that I'm going to watch again and again.
Yeah, and just talking about those moments, I was going through my pictures and I had the picture of him when he was in Gorilla, when he made his big return or his debut at AEW. And I remember the moment. I remember we were there. I remember talk to him. I remember I called one of our old coaches, because one of his coaches was my coach too in Chicago. And I sent that, and I took that picture to send it to my coach. And I remember how electrifying it was for everybody that was in the back, like how excited we were at the moment. And and things like that. There was a lot of moments for me as a commentator and when I was wrestling that were really cool, that I was like, man, I wish one day, like in my wildest dreams, I can be just as, like, people can shout my name and people can be so passionate about me, you know? And yeah, you can tell me I'm fucking crazy. I don't care. I want to be a superstar. I came to this fucking business to make money and to make a legacy for my family. And when I see Phil doing what he does, like, I am happy for him. Like, this is not easy, David. We all strive to be the best in the fucking world. That's what we strive for. And if you're not, I know what you're doing. I strive to be one of the best female wrestlers in the world. That's what I sacrificed my career, my career in my master's degree. That's why I didn't pursue my master's degree, because I wanted to be the best professional athlete in the world. And when I saw that, and when I saw that reactions, the boos, the yays, like, it was like, damn, like, this is what I'm talking about. This is like what moves the needle. This is what moves people. You either love me or hate me, but you still buy my merchandise, you know? And he was gone for like 10 years. And people were still buying his stuff. People were still saying his name, you know? And it's the same thing now. And it's just crazy. It's absolutely insane. And everybody has the right to dream that they can happen for them. Everybody that works in the business has that dream, to be a fucking superstar.
I would think that's what you're doing in any form of livelihood. You want to be the best, and he wants to be the best. And judging from the reaction that we saw last Saturday, I think the fans want to see what's next for CM Punk. I know I'm excited about the future for CM Punk. Thunder, thanks for... I love it. I love when you start talking, man, because you get emotional and you get me emotional. No, because that's what I love about it.
David,
you have your emotions on a sleeve. I love that about you.
David, it's the truth. You know, it's the truth. I'm moving from politics. I'm moving from everything. Like, he made some awesome moments. I cried when he came out the first time that he came to AEW. Like, we went through a roller coaster of emotions with a lot of stuff. Everybody. Everywhere. People were crying when he came out. People were pissed that he came out. Like, they were legitimately like, I'm never watching this stuff anymore. I read it. I saw it. The reactions on TikTok. The same thing that happened when he was in AEW. There were so many people shitting on it, you know? And it's just like, okay, cool. But again, it's like, this is professional wrestling. This is why I love professional wrestling, because he moves people just like when you're a rock star. I compare him as a rock star. He is a freaking rock star. He moves people. He moves people, you like it or not. And that's what we strive for. Like when I'm singing and I see how I make people cry when I'm singing, I'm like, damn, yeah, this is why I love singing. When I've seen people crying because I did something or I said something, I was like, damn, this is why I'm doing professional wrestling. This is why, and it's just, it just moves me. I wouldn't be doing this. I would have quit when I was like, when they told me I was injured. I would have just like, David, have this. I'm just, and I'm trying again because I love this thing. I love what it's done for me. I love what it's done for my family. I'm living my wildest dreams, but I'm not done. And this is why I said earlier, he's not done living his wildest dreams. And he had another opportunity in life. He had another opportunity in his professional career. So you're either here for the ride or you can get off the rocket ship and go and watch something else.